Welcome back to Stocks to Watch, where we explore some of the most innovative and disruptive companies making waves in the market today. I'm your host, Ashley Berry, and today we're taking a deep dive into Sono Group N.V, trading on the OTCQB as SEVCF. Now, Sono Group N.V is revolutionizing how we think about solar technology and its application in the commercial vehicle market. They right now are at a critical juncture in their journey, undergoing a transformational rebirth. With a new board of directors in place and a strategic pivot on the horizon, this is a company certainly poised for a significant shift in both operations and direction. And without further ado, leading this transformation is George O'Leary, the company's managing director, CEO, and CFO. George, welcome. Always great to see you.
Great to see you too, Ashley.
This is the second time that we've had this fascinating conversation about your products and what you do, sustainability, environmental governance. I'd like to just kind of jump right in, and maybe you can explain to us what it is you do and talk about a little bit about the early visions and where you are now and where you're going with your mission.
Well, thanks, Ashley. Great question. So first, with 3 million euros just recently invested in the company, new product offering launch for both. We have our core product, which is the solar bus kit. We're also adding to that for trucks and vans as well, with different affordable options for all three. And to go to your earlier question about the beginnings of the company, so we had two founders start the business in 2016 to build an affordable solar automobile. Mm-hmm. We took the company public in 2021. And our overall goal hasn't really changed, which is to create and help participate in a greener, more clean world.
Yes, and I also understand there are changes on the board. A new board is taking the helm. Why now specifically? And maybe you can tell us about those that are leading the company and their leadership styles.
Sure. Well, we do have a U.S.-based board, so we have U.S. perspective that add into the German engineering and technology. So I think that's a great combination. My style specifically is to work with great people and provide them the support so that they can make things happen and get things done. My board is very similar to that, and they've been extremely helpful in moving the company forward. One of the things we're focusing on is uplisting to NASDAQ over. I've mentioned that before, but over the months to come, and our board is being extremely helpful in making that happen for us as well.
Well, that is certainly exciting news. Yes. Let's talk about operations. What are your plans for sort of revamping operations, and how's the progress going?
Sure. So first, with the 3 million euro capital infusion, that's helping with the growth of the business going forward. Our focus on the new product offerings with trucks and vans adds to our portfolio of the solar bus kit. So we're expanding our product offering and expanding therefore our business opportunities. We're planning on moving into the U.S. market for additional growth for the business. And I think kind of summarizing it, taking advantage of the global interest in renewable energy, with solar being the largest and most affordable of all of those energy sources. It's a great business to be in, and we're excited to be participating in it at this time.
Yeah, and so important. I'd like to sort of shift gears here and talk about, B2C and then B2B. You are really transitioning from, business to consumer to business. Can you explain the rationale behind that?
Sure. So the B2B market, first, it opens up potential for us to be more flexible and provide a more cost-effective, capital-efficient product offering to our customer base, both with the buses as well as with trucks and vans. And our plan is to also move into the RV market. The RV market, where people are spending up to $1.5 million on RVs, having solar, which would really expand their battery life for their refrigeration and their appliances, it's kind of provides a cool factor and the first to have as our selling point to people spending that kind of money on RVs. We think it's a great logical market to move into, from the buses, the trucks, and the vans as well, moving into the RV market.
I like the cool factor, George. I can just imagine riding down the road and seeing that, with the solar panels on there. It is cool, and it's a responsibility factor as well.
Yeah,
Which
socially conscious people, would find this to be a very attractive investment, and for a fairly nominal cost when you look at what they're spending on RVs, it'd
sure.
be something that would be very useful for them, and also, like you said, socially conscious and
Mhm.
providing for a greener world as we move forward.
Speaking of which, I'd like to
Yes.
dive a little bit deeper into what it is specifically, that you do, that your product is, maybe for those viewers that aren't familiar.
Sure. So we basically start with solar panels, whether it's be 16 solar panels, 8 solar panels, 4 solar panels, depending on the size of the vehicle. Or so the buses with 16, trucks would be 8, and vans would be 4 solar panels. By way of example, we also have our own proprietary software that connects all of those solar panels to work in with the existing infrastructure with the buses and the trucks and the vans. And now we're providing a more affordable option where our controller will be just a bought off the shelf controller that would be more cost effective for trucks and vans as well. But it's a fully integrated system that works to reduce the amount of fuel usage,
Mhm.
also reduce the emissions of CO2. That's really the key to the
Yeah.
future. Renewable energy sources of reducing that for climate control and other things. Global governments and social conscious private sector are really focusing on these types of integrations and these types of business opportunities.
So important to mention all that. I really appreciate you kind of breaking it down, because when you think about what it is that you're doing and your model for the environment, I mean, for our viewers, this is paramount to the future, as you said. So I really appreciate you kind of breaking it down into layman's terms. And I can only imagine the reduction, as you said, in the fuel, in the emissions, and just the carbon footprint in general. So this leads me right into the next question. How do you intend to leverage the portfolio of patents in this new model?
Well, our investment over the years, we have 9 granted patents and over 30 pending patents. And
Mhm.
basically, that's a competitive advantage for both our existing and our new product offerings. And it's always great to take advantage of lessons learned from the past and move that into execution going forward. And that's what we're using that for, to protect our assets going forward, and also help drive revenue and drive our sales with our proprietary offerings.
Fantastic. So I have to ask you, George, for those listening, for those watching, why do you believe now, right now, is the right time for investors to join your mission and invest in your company?
So a few things. One is $1.7 trillion has been spent on solar over the past few years. China is over 800 billion. The US is over 400 billion, and Germany is over 185 billion. So
Mhm.
we are pursuing 2 of the 3 larger markets in solar technology. We're pursuing with our company. And so the time is now, with world leadership focused on climate control and renewable energy sources. And solar, again, is the largest and most affordable of all of those sources. So solar is really makes great sense for us to be focusing on that. And then I'll leave the folks with three key points. One, solar is now trillions being spent in world governments and socially conscious private sector. 2, a fresh start with the largest and most affordable renewable energy source. And 3, we believe that the markets we're targeting are just starting the boom of solar technology and solar mobility specifically. And then lastly, no matter what your political view, globally, everybody loves solar. And I think that's kind of the take-home message, is solar is definitely a thing of the future, and you'd be getting in on the ground floor investing in Sono Group N.V.
Yes, certainly such innovative technology that you're doing now and incorporating it into, vehicles, really paving the way, no pun intended, for a greener future, reducing carbon footprints. Really appreciate your time today, George O'Leary, Managing Director, CEO, and CFO. What a pleasure it was to speak with you today. Thank you so much for joining us. Sono Group N.V. is setting a new standard for sustainable transportation.
Thank you, Ashley. Great to speak to you again.